Hey everybody, this is Jack with Vacationese, and I am with Jessica Bishop. And Jessica, we found a website that you have, which is amazing. So tell us about your website. To me, it provides everything related to weddings, how to save money, hints, tips. It's just great stuff that I think our brides planning a bachelorette party, an engagement, a trip, a destination wedding, of course. But there was so much good stuff there. I thought maybe it would be a great time for you and I to get together and I had some questions for you and hopefully you can help our brides.
Yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to chat about weddings and all the things that I love, including saving money. So, um, as you said, my name is Jessica Bishop, and I founded the budgetsavvybride.com, which is my website, back in 2008 when I was planning my own wedding on a very tight budget. And yeah, we've been publishing content for about 15 years. We have tons of great resources on the website. One of the coolest things I think is our real wedding section. So we feature a lot of real weddings from couples all across the US. We have some destination weddings, but we'd love to have more. So just a hint for anyone listening, please submit your destination weddings to us. But every one of our wedding features includes a budget breakdown from the couple, so they share what they spent on each aspect of their wedding, which I think is super helpful because one thing that the wedding industry lacks in many ways is price transparency, and so we're really trying to help that.
That's great. So you said something that kind of comes up all the time. People are asking me, "Hey Jack, what is this destination wedding going to cost?" So I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, I started a series of I think there are 5 videos, and I broke down each segment of what is it going to cost from the hotel rooms to the entertainment to the food and beverage, because it is, whether it's a wedding at home in Baltimore, Philadelphia, LA, wherever, it's a mystery. And I always tell people, unfortunately, once you have that number, it may be too late to do anything about it because it could be 60 days before your wedding. So tell us about some discounts because I think everybody always is interested in saving money. So tell us some of the discounts you can get from your website.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think the ones that are probably the most relevant for destination weddings will be like your attire, right? Because most of the things I would imagine your resort is going to have on hand to like prep the big day for you. But yeah, definitely we have tons of great offers for everything from wedding dresses, suits for the grooms. There's, ready to order options. There's even custom suiting options that we have partnerships with that'll give you like a great discount. Any sort of accessories that any of you would wear, the bridesmaids, the groomsmen, all sorts of stuff. We also have, partnerships with brands that do wedding invitations, whether you want something digital or something printed. We have lots of options for that. And then things even like flowers or decorations, if you did want to bring some stuff with you, although that seems like the less convenient option to bring it all with you for a destination wedding, but we have something for everyone. So it's definitely a great thing to check out. And it's, you can find it on the budgetsavvybride.com/wedding dash deals.
So let's talk about some tips because you've been doing this a long time. And like you said, you did it for your own wedding. So people are asking me about, how best to create a guest list for their engagement party or their destination wedding. Can you give us any tips or do you have tools? I've given people some tips on what we've seen, but let me hear from you how you can guide a bride and groom potentially and your thoughts.
Yeah, I think the guest list is something that's always cited as like, oh, it's the fastest way to like reduce your wedding costs, right? Like just cut the guest list as if that's a simple thing because the guest list is an emotional like element to the wedding, right? There's people's feelings getting involved and expectations and pressure from family and whatever. So it's challenging and don't get me wrong, but I think one thing that couples can do to kind of make it more cut and dry or more simplified is really sitting down and asking yourself like who would you not get married if they couldn't be there, you know what I mean? Like who would you absolutely say like, well, we can't do it if this person can't come? Like those people are number one on your list, right? And then beyond that, when you're faced with like should we invite this person, should we not, ask yourself, have you seen them and had like a meaningful conversation or interaction like within the last year? And if you haven't, do they really need to be on the list? So those are probably my two like best tips to keep in mind when it comes to the guest list.
Yeah, and we tell people very similar to what you do. My comment is, do you really want to spend 5 days with these people, right? So if you're having a wedding at home, you could
Yeah.
potentially hide from them or have a 45-minute, 45-second interaction. But if you're doing a destination wedding, you want to sit at the swim up pool bar with those people for 3 or 4 days. So don't just invite people to invite people, invite them because you want to be with
That's a
them. So,
really great distinction, especially about the destination weddings, because you are spending more time with those guests when they're traveling, to be there with you.
yeah.
It's usually for a longer period of time. So I like that. That's great.
So once they follow your tip on who to invite, what are you seeing as trends? Because I'm always asked, hey Jack, should we send out written invitations? Should we do a save the date just so people can plan? Should we use evites? So what are the trends you're seeing in the industry, and what do you suggest to people on what is like a time frame on when they should do these things?
Yeah, I think it's been really interesting. Like I said, I've been in the industry for like over 15 years now. I've definitely seen like more adoption of digital options, Evites. There's so many great options to send digital format invitations. I've even seen people like texting them, like literally just texting them. Like I got a video. It was a video save the date. I think they made it with like one of those graphic softwares like Canva or something. And I thought that was really great and obviously totally free. So that's definitely a great way to save money. And I would say obviously with destination weddings, you need to give people advance notice. And so save the dates are definitely essential, I would say, if you're planning a destination wedding. As much as up to a year in advance if you've planned that far out. You can also opt for, a digital RSVP. So many of the wedding websites these days have, online like guest RSVP collection like built into the websites. And so you don't have to spend the extra money on the printed RSVP card and the stamp and the envelope for the RSVP card. So that's a great way to just cut a little bit of cost on the printed invites as well.
That's great information because we do a website for all of our clients related to the travel portion, but a lot of times we hear from clients what they want to do even before we put the website out there is that they want to do a save the date so that if they're going to send out a written invitation, I had a bride just tell me that she calculated that printing the invitation, doing the RSV card, and mailing all the mail costs and everything is between $7 to $10 per
Yeah.
invitation. So she just wanted to pare it down with the save the date and only send the people that RSVP that said, yes, I'd be interested in coming from the save the date. So it's great information you have. Same thing with the gown. We're seeing in the old days of destination weddings, everybody wanted what I called a flip flop wedding, right? It was, hey, Jack, we want it on the sand and we want to wear flip flops. That's not happening anymore. The more I hear from brides, it's like, I want a location that's on the sand, on the beach, but not on the sand. I'm like, well, let's astroturf a beach, right? And what I'm finding is brides want a little bit more formal event these days. They want to wear heels. The guys want to get dressed a little bit more. There's no shorts and t-shirt weddings that I've seen recently. So
Wow.
yeah, so people are asking me what kind of gown or where do you think I can find a gown because it's a different gown than I may wear for February in Boston, Chicago, or LA. So do you have vendors that you work with or selections of gowns, or what are you seeing as trends for gowns for tropical experiences or warm weather weddings?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you definitely want to opt for something with a lightweight fabric. You probably don't want like the big heavy ball gown if you're going to have to, you know, deal with any sand, I would think. But these days there's more options than ever. I mean, it's honestly mind-blowing how many great options there are. And like I think a lot of brides are even getting stuff from retailers that maybe aren't considered like truly bridal designers, but they just have some formal dresses that are available in white. And now there's so many great online options as well where you can have them sent to you at home so you can try them on at home. A lot of like the direct to consumer brands, it's just a lower cost because they don't have the hard costs of a brick and mortar retail store like David's Bridal, who we know has like been struggling a bit recently with like a
Yeah.
second bankruptcy, which they've come out of again. But if you don't want to go that route, there's great options like Azazi, They have a ton of affordable dresses on their website that fit a range of like styles from tropical to more formal. So they have lots of options. Another one is Kennedy Blue. I'm trying to think. Vowed is another great one. They do have retail stores in like a few select locations, and they're great quality and just a really fun brand, I think, to shop.
Well, that's
Um,
great because what
yeah.
complicates a destination wedding different than a home wedding is in a home wedding, you typically just have the wedding and the ceremony. What we see with a destination wedding is they're going to have a welcome party, clothes needed
Yep.
for that. They're going to have a rehearsal dinner, clothes needed
Mhm.
for that. They're going to have a ceremony. And in some cases, because it's so convenient, they'll have their gown for the ceremony go back to the room and then change in to something else. So I have brides that ask me
Mm.
all the time about, with airline tickets, what do we do with all this clothing we're bringing? And then, one of the trends we saw for a while is a trash the dress that we have brides that ask me about, if I want to do a trash the dress, can they organize? I'm going to run into the ocean or in Mexico, go into a cenote so that they
Mm.
need to find an appropriate dress, I guess, and I'm not sure what that is fine to jump into the ocean with, and I'm not sure how they even get that thing home if they do. So, so it's great to hear that you have some vendors that potentially can give people options for each of these events. And as I tell people, make sure your suitcases aren't overweight because when you get to the airport, if they are, you're going to have problems, and you don't want to start off your wedding trip with problems at your local airport.
So
Um,
many additional logistics to think about when it comes to the destination weddings. It's so true.
So, if you had to suggest to a bride three reasons to work with your website, what's the three top reasons that they should, look at your website? Should they be there every day? Do you have newsletters? I mean, so give us some hints about why brides planning a destination wedding or an engagement party or a honeymoon should be really using your website as their number one planning tool.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got a lot of great resources that are completely free on the website. So everything from, a checklist and timeline of like what needs to be handled when. We definitely need to get an updated one for destination weddings. So maybe that's something
And
that
we,
we
yeah,
could
we can get that
collaborate
to
on.
you. Yeah, we
Yeah, we
have
can.
those, so that's easy.
Yeah, we should collab on that. But we have, all the standard stuff. We have a wedding budget spreadsheet that's like really helpful, especially because it's like right in Google Sheets. So you can, use it on the go, which is so handy for keeping up to date on all your spending. And then our newsletter is definitely like a must join. It keeps you up to date on like the latest posts on the site as well as our latest offers from our partners. And so that's where you'll get access, like notification about the latest discounts and things that are available right now, because some are available all the time and some are more seasonal. It might be like a flash sale. And so being able to take advantage of those when those come through is a great reason to join our email list. And then also, I would say our printables section. So, if you are looking for ways to save money and maybe you don't want to order like professionally designed invitations, we have a collection on our website that are free that you can customize yourself with Canva, and you can just either print them at home or have them printed through Canva or another printer. And it'll save you, significantly when compared to like going through one of the bigger like retailer sites, I would say. So yeah, I think those are all great reasons. And then we also, I should mention as well, we have a book. I have a book that came out in 2018, and it's actually like one of the top wedding planning books on Amazon. So it's called, of course, The Budget Savvy Wedding Planner and Organizer. And so that's a
So hold
tremendous.
on, hold on. How do you get
Oh,
that again? Let us know again.
oh,
I
sure, sure,
love it.
sure. It is the Budget Savvy Wedding Planner and Organizer, and it's available on Amazon. You can find it at a lot of places online, but Amazon's always the easiest, right? And yeah, it's very well reviewed, and we get such great feedback on it. I think one of the biggest things we get feedback about it is the first chapter. It really talks through what you and your partner really envision and hope for out of a wedding. and why you want to plan a wedding celebration at all. And it really helps you get clear on which aspects of it matter most to you. And that might be the thing that helps you decide, like, yeah, we do want to do a destination wedding rather than something at home. And so I just think the exercises in there are super helpful in clarifying like your vision. So
I want to thank you for allowing me the time to interview you. Hopefully, brides, grooms out there that are planning destination weddings and honeymoons, and even if you're not doing a destination wedding, this information is helpful. So, Jessica, again, tell us how they can find your website so that they can get all this great stuff that you've been telling us about.
yeah, definitely. So we're at thebudgetsavvybride.com and we're on Instagram at Budget Savvy Bride, pretty much everywhere online, like social media platforms and stuff. And we also have a podcast as well. It's called the Bouquet Toss podcast. So we chat through trends and helping couples make great decisions for their weddings there as well.
Great. Well, thanks again. And everybody make sure to follow Jessica and all vehicles social media because it sounds like you can save some money, learn something, and help kind of get information on planning your amazing destination wedding. So thanks again for being with us, Jessica, and have a great day.
Thanks so much for having me.